All right, it's 1 o'clock on Thursday. Hope you guys are having a good morning. I know I have. I actually had a pretty awesome outdoor workout session this morning. Then I got to meet Whitney, who is our brand and marketing director, at her place for a little social distancing work collab, which was nice to actually get to see her for like the first time in what felt like, I don't know, like a century. So that was really good. And here we are for the Durso Dispatch, my favorite part of the day on Thursday. So thanks for joining me. I honestly can't believe this is the 6th episode. I think my ratings are rivaling Ellen's and Jimmy Fallon's at night. So thank you guys for all viewing and watching and making this such an important part of your life, because I know how important it is for you, and it's important for all of us. So again, welcome to the Durso Dispatch, proudly presented by the Kelly Brush Foundation. I am your host, Greg Durso, the program director here at the KBF. If you missed any of the episodes, please go to our Facebook site, Kelly Brush Foundation on Facebook, and you can see all of our awesome episodes that I've done in the past and all of our great guests we've had on there already. So definitely go check that out. They're posted there for your viewing pleasure. As you know, each week I will be on here with a guest. We'll be able to meet some of our grant recipients, talk about what they've been doing in the past and all the cool things they're doing in the future and how this alternate reality is affecting them. But honestly, guys, it's most importantly to introduce them to you guys as a great resource for the future. So with that, I would love to introduce you guys to our KBF Ambassador, someone new in the adaptive sports world and an inspiring alpine ski racer, as well as a volunteer, mentor, and athlete at the Greek Peak Adaptive Snow Sports. And honestly, just an overall amazing dude. So let me get Liam Wagner on here and let's have a good show. Let's make this happen. Hold on 1 second. All right, Liam should be popping in any second. Here it is. Voila.
What's up?
Can you hear me, bud? Liam, you there? Got it? Nice. How's your... Yeah, we almost got you. How's your... Perfect. You see me a little bit better? Oh, boy. You're freezing on me. How's your service over there in Binghamton? Good?
Else, but
All right, sweet. Yeah, sorry, you're just going in and out on our end, so. Perfect.
all right. Well,
Awesome, man. So how's it feel to be on the show?
Move. Feels amazing. It'd be even more amazing.
It's good tour of what you're doing right now. It's good.
Okay. Well, you guys get a little detour of our warehouse, so that's cool.
No, this is awesome. So how do you feel to be on here? You're with us now, so this is perfect.
Okay, you can see me now?
Yeah, you're good. What's going on, Chris Adele? Thanks for joining us, by the way.
Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, anytime.
All right, here we go. Now we're in business.
Allison Mallory, how's it going?
There we go. Sorry about that, guys.
No, you're gold now. You're looking good, Leanne. There it is. You can see your face, that little hair curl through the hat. I like it. So, how does it feel to be on the show? What's going on?
Awesome. I'm super excited. I want to be on it since day one.
Good. Well, I'm glad. I'm sorry I took the 6th episode to get you on here, Liam, but
No, that's fine.
you know how important to you it is, so it's good. So, Liam, so we met at Ski Spec in December, right? Is that when it was?
Yeah. So I think what I ended up doing once I got my grant and all that, I think I posted it a couple times on your Instagram page, and then I saw you guys said, "Oh, and we're going to be out at Ski Spec," so I'm like, "I'll see you guys there." Completely forgot about it, and then I'm just going down the hallway, and all of a sudden I hear Liam. I'm like, I don't know anyone in Colorado, and then I look over and it's you and Kelly there. I'm like, "Oh, that's awesome."
I know. Trying to get to know our grant recipients, so I was stalking you down. So sorry about that. No, it's cool. So actually, for you guys that don't know what Ski Spec is, it's the Hartford Ski Spectacular, and Disabled Sports USA, or DSUSA, which is now Move United, puts this amazing adaptive program on in early December at Breckenridge, and it's basically they've got training lessons. They're bringing all these amazing adaptive programs from across the country, and they come in and they've got a race program which Liam participated in, and just it's an overall awesome week of adaptive skiing and things of that sort. They had different vendors there, tried different equipment, which is really cool. So it's awesome to be there. A little shout out to Dave Poole, who just joined us. So good for you guys. So Liam, I think you would agree. You would think people should definitely go there if they're interested in skiing or honing in their
Yeah.
skills or doing what they want to be doing.
Absolutely. There's so many coaches there from everywhere. I mean, we're talking Alaska, California, all over Colorado. Uh, I guess a high level instructor is going to be at this event. I learned so much in just a week. It really transformed my skiing and then kind of set me on the right path to, okay, as soon as I actually went down the race course, I'm like, okay, I'm addicted to this. This is awesome.
I love
And,
it.
it was just kind of pursuing that ever since. So any camp I could get a hold of after that point, I did.
It was good in the weather, man. We had the first 3 days were like Bluebird, just amazing groomers,
Oh,
and the next 3 days were we had a
yeah.
couple good powder days together in there.
Well, that's literally the most powder I've ever seen. Like that's the biggest storm I've ever been in. Period.
That was your first time on the West Coast, right?
Yeah, and it's everyone said it was going to be a different snow, but I'm just like, well, it's snow. And it's totally a different snow.
What are you talking about? Oh, I see. I get it. This is way better.
Yeah, this is different. This is a different ball game.
That's good. So how is life these days, man? What are you doing in Binghamton? What's going on?
Well, with everything going on with the COVID, things got kind of turned upside down. But now I'm back at work, and we are kind of plugging away. We do manufacturing and wholesale CBD products. Our retail end isn't open, but we at least can get our products to kind of the essential businesses that are open that hold our products. So we're just kind of going there, getting ready to open back up. Hopefully that happens soon.
Dude, you're like a little chemist. Does any of that stuff work for you from like an SCI standpoint?
Oh, I'm sorry. What was that?
I said you're like a little chemist. Does any of that stuff work from like an SCI standpoint? Like just like based on your injury, like is that like does CBD helps you at all?
So that's actually how I got involved in this whole business. A friend of mine had actually a good family friend, probably 15 years we knew this guy, and he started up a CBD company and had been saying, get down here. I want to see if this is going to work for you. And it took me like 2 years to get down over here and actually give it a try. And as soon as I did, I mean, I didn't have an anti-inflammatory in my pain regimen or anything like that. And I just didn't realize how important it was until I started taking it. And not only that, but it's a natural anti-inflammatory. So you're not just pounding down ibuprofen all the time. And it's really a great product. There's so I call them side benefits. There's not really any side effects that I get out of them.
That's awesome. I'll have to give it a try. I mean, I might as well give you a plug right now. So go ahead. What company do you work for?
Oh, yeah. The company I work for is Cube Naturals. And we also have our retail site is cbdsupply.store. There you go.
There you go. I like it. So what have you been doing?
Yeah.
What have you been doing to keep you safely active these days?
I've been working on my house like crazy. Both my brother's been putting in tons of work too. But that's basically been taking up all of my time. It's all the projects that you're like, oh, put that on the back burner. But then when you sit around for a month and a half and have nothing to do, you're like, oh, I have so much to do.
Right.
And
I'm sure you say you're working on your house. People are like, how's he working in his house in a wheelchair? Like, how does that work for you, Liam? Like, what do you like?
I mean, so we have kind of a bit of a system that my brother and I do. He takes care of most of the stuff down in the basement. I can do anything kind of like painting. We took down a couple of the doors, repainted the doors, but we work together really well, and he helps out a lot. But yeah, he's been doing tons. Our whole entire basement is getting refinished right now. He's been killing it.
Dawson, you have any tips for anyone else that's trying to do some home improvement in a chair that's been working for you?
Yeah, if you're gonna hop out of your wheelchair, bring the pad down with you. Say you're painting some trim or something like that. If you need to get down low, put the pad underneath you so you're not getting a pressure sore. There's been a couple times where I was kind of leaning over on one end for a while, and of course I can't feel it totally. And then I look, just have this huge red mark. I'm like, ooh, that was a little risky.
That's good. Well, it's a good tip. Thank you for that. So yeah. You're one of our grant recipients, and you ended up getting a monoski from us. So why don't you tell the folks a little bit about the monoski you got and a little bit about that?
So what I basically looked around as much as I could for the best possible monoski I could get. And then there's a company, Dynaxis, that was pretty close to me, and it looked like they had a very great product. So I'm like, all right, I'll do a little bit more research. I talked to Cheney and Yoakum, and they're awesome. awesome people, and they have a really great product that I love. Yeah, it's called the Hydra. I don't know if I said that, but it's a really, really great ski.
How about the customer service they give you?
Oh my God, it's they're on top of everything constantly. So the bucket that I ended up getting was way too tight of a fit, and when we went in December, we had like uh, a week before we went out to Breckenridge. Was when Greek Peak opened, so I had a very small amount of time to kind of test and tune and get used to this monoski before I went out to Colorado. And I hopped in that seat, took 2 runs, and I was like, there's no way I can use this bucket at all. So I just called them. I'm like, is there any way that we can get this soon? And they're like, yeah, we have a bucket. Come over to our house tomorrow and come pick it up. I'm like, oh my God, I had no idea that they would be that welcoming to help me out. And it was on a Sunday, on Father's Day,
Yeah,
actually.
there you go.
Yeah, I mean, it was a really awesome, really awesome.
That's sweet. So Channing Yoakum, thank you for doing what you're doing at Gen Access. You make awesome,
Yeah,
make an awesome ski, and you're awesome customer service. Thank you for doing what you're doing, getting people out in the slopes again. So it's awesome. Your other ambassador friend, Matt Tilford, just joined on. Why don't you give him a hello, Liam?
hey Matt.
So Liam, why don't you tell us a little bit about kind of your story and how you got hurt? I know you were kind of going through like a transformation, like body wise at the time, and then kind of like poof, like your life changes. Like what, like kind of what happened?
Yeah, so all basically my whole childhood I was extremely overweight. Um, I think I was like 240 pounds or something like that. I was a big boy. I wasn't that tall, and I had no muscle on me at all. So it was just basically a bunch of fat on me. But I had started working for someone who had been a personal trainer, and he kind of got me eating a little bit better. And he threw a pull-up bar. He was super supportive in helping me out. And I ended up dropping 72 pounds in 9 months.
Oh
I
wow.
was constantly doing jiu-jitsu. I was trying to do as much as I possibly could. So I had a huge body transformation, the best possible shape I could have been. And
It's
during all
incredible.
this, during all this, I was always into motorcycles, but I mean, during all this, I really started getting into motorcycles. I had my first motocross race, maybe, what was it? It had to have been like 4 months before my actual big accident. But I had just really fallen in love with it. So, uh, that was in 2016 was when I got injured, and it was just kind of flipped everything. So I was going 100 miles an hour trying to get as healthy as I possibly
Yeah.
could, and I had all these different dreams kind of pursuit, but then it just stops instantly, and you got to reassess.
So kind of what happened? Like how did your injury occur? What's your level of injury?
So when I was basically just riding around this corner. I wasn't too familiar with it, and we had taken the wrong exit, so I really wasn't familiar. Oh, I'm sorry. My brother and I were riding. That would have.
Okay.
So he was behind me, maybe 400 yards or something like that, and he kind of watched me go around this corner, and I remember just kind of looking up and realizing, I'm like, wow, such a beautiful day. And I was kind of looking behind me, just I wasn't paying attention for a split second. And then by the time I looked up, realized, oh, I have to turn right here. I ended up saying, okay, I'm going way too fast to make this corner. And then I locked up my brakes, and then just kind of ended up sliding into a guardrail.
Oh,
And when I got wrapped up around the guardrail, it was instant. I hit the thing so freaking hard. It ragdolled me around. But maybe, well, let me rephrase it. It ragdolled me around like maybe like 4 or 5 of the uprights. But I mean, to go from 55, 60 miles an hour and stop in just the distance of 4 or 5 of those uprights. I mean, I essentially hit it and stopped. It was
that's
vicious.
oh, dude, it's a crazy
And
accident.
I'm on top of this. So I mean, luckily and unluckily, I didn't hit my head, so I didn't go unconscious or anything like that. So I remember everything. I mean, thank God I didn't hurt my head, but it does suck because I remember every single bit of it.
Yeah. So how was your journey from there? Like, what was that like for you after your injury? Like, where was your head at?
My head was, I really, it's kind of funny. I was thinking to myself, I was like, wow, I was really kind of self-absorbed. And I mean, just worrying about, I mean, in my defense, I was trying to better myself and getting there, but I just realized I'm like, oh, I have to stop all of this. And I was just, I was, I don't know. My head just immediately went to a very dark place immediately. I mean, I knew I was paralyzed the minute I hit that guardrail. I went to go touch my legs, and I mean, I was like, okay, I can't feel my legs. I thought I got split in half. Like I was panicking. I mean, from there, I went in a helicopter, went over to Guthrie, and I was just kind of blacking out in and out from there. But I mean, the next thing I really remember is just having this unbelievable amount of people come visit me in the hospital. Like it was to the point where the hospital was like, all right, you have to tell people to not come here. There was so many, and that's when I realized I'm just like, just exactly how loved I was and all the support that I had. I had no idea that it was right in front of my face. And sometimes you really forget about that. But that really kept my head straight for the first couple weeks. And then they shipped me down to Kennedy Krieger Institute, and that's in Baltimore. So I was going, that's 5.5 hours away from me. That's quite a distance. So I kind of lost that support group. Yeah, in a sense. I mean, they were, of course, they're calling me, texting me, and doing, I mean, I had a lot of support that way, but without being able to physically see your friends and family, it's really, really difficult. And it's super easy to slip into a kind of depressive state. I remember just how much pain I was in too. We could not get it under control. A lot of the pain that I have is neurological, so it'll feel like my legs are burning. And I mean, I'm sitting here trying to put ice packs on something that it's like my legs aren't hot, but
Crazy.
It feels like they're hot. It's learning all this at 19 years old too. I mean, it's really hard to even grasp what happens when you're that young.
Yes,
I mean,
you got some complications, right? Too through that, like what was going on?
Yeah. So I think it was 2 or 3 days into being at Kennedy. There was they were lifting me in a Hoyer lift to put me into a wheelchair that kind of reclined a little bit. For whatever the reason, the reclining mechanism broke, and I went flying backwards, and immediately it felt like I got stabbed in the back of the head. And I broke down. Like I was screaming. It hurt so bad. And every single time that I would lift my head up, I would start to have that sharp pain again. So we had to figure out what was going on. So they ended up doing an MRI, and they found that I had a huge tear in the dura, so the membrane that surrounds all of your nerves, and is lubricated by spinal fluid. So when I had the tear, the spinal fluid was leaking out, and the spinal fluid also keeps your brain afloat. So basically, that's the way I understand it. Anyway, I could be completely
yeah, I'm sure you're right.
But from what I understand is your brain is afloat by this stuff, and having not enough pressure kind of causes it to sink, and then you have these horrible headaches. So it turned into an ongoing battle of having UTIs and not being able to perform surgery. I mean, it was just one thing. It felt like a domino effect. It was just one thing after another was going wrong, and I just kept sinking into a more and more depressed place, to the point I remember the neurosurgeon coming up and saying, "Hey, I don't know if I can fix this." And I'm like, "What are you talking?" I'm at this point, I'm at Johns Hopkins Hospital.
Oh man, so you're like really deep in it.
I'm here. Like this is the best hospital I possibly can be at. If you can't fix it, who can? And I mean, as soon as I heard that come out of her mouth, I think what a lot of it was just not the best bedside manner. Because and she was younger too. So she was a younger neurosurgeon, might not have had quite as much experience in doing that kind of surgery. So she could have just been a little bit doubtful. But yeah, I mean, at that point, I just remember wanting the room as dark as I could. I couldn't keep any food down, first of all, because I would get sick. And then second of all, I just didn't feel like eating.
Right.
My appetite went away. So at that point in my life, I had been like 185 pounds at the time of my accident. When we got through all of that, had my surgery, that was luckily successful. When I left I went to Johns Hopkins weighing like 185, 190 pounds. I left Johns Hopkins to go back to physical therapy. I weighed 122 pounds at 6 foot tall.
That's wild.
And over the course of maybe 40 days, it was such a small amount of time that I dumped all of that weight. I couldn't eat. It was, yeah, there was just a lot of, I mean, mentally, things were just, it was just one thing after another that I couldn't get happy.
So you're in this super dark place. Like, how do you, like, what did you do? How did you rebound out of that? Like, what was it going on?
So I did my best to kind of look around at what was going on. I have an L4 injury. So, I mean, a lumbar injury is not, it's a really good injury to have, and an incomplete one at that. So I was just kind of looking around at these other kids that were in the hospital, and I mean, they're 16 years old and they're quadriplegics in their life. I mean, I played guitar since I was 6 years old. I couldn't imagine not being able to have my hand function to play guitar. I mean, that would have crushed me. That would have absolutely crushed me. And ultimately, I think it took looking at that situation and really putting things into perspective is how lucky I was even to be alive.
Yeah.
And being able to have the opportunity to make a great recovery and have a fulfilling life, which it's really hard to see that when you're in the middle of all that. I mean, it was very rough. There was times where my mom would literally come through the room and take all the sharp objects. Like, it was, she thought that she was going to lose me because I would do something stupid, not even because of the accident. I mean, there's so many factors, but again, it was just looking and putting things into perspective that helped me pull out of that.
That's so wild. So, I mean, I can't even comprehend what that must have been like for you and going through that. And I think it's just like, what got you out of it? What was like, what really helped? Like, what tips you have for people that were in that space and got to where you are? Because I know it's not, I mean, I don't know, do you still battle depression now, or how are you feeling with that?
I mean, now I feel like I have my head on pretty straight. I mean, as straight as it possibly can be for me. But
this is impressive, Liam.
I would say one thing that I also really did not like, I didn't want to go on medication. I was really against that. But sometimes you need to go onto a medication just to get you over a hump, and then you ultimately can get off of it. And that's what I did. I ended up taking a drug called Cymbalta, and then that really helped out both with my nerve pain and mentally. It really helped out a lot. It just allows you to kind of, yeah, again, just get past it. That was one thing that definitely helped. And then again, just being supported by a lot of people really helped me. When I went home, that's when it really kind of
took off.
I could say I took off in a great direction.
So great.
I just had an unbelievable amount of support.
What's up, Quinn? Yeah, I think it's impressive. I know for me, like when I was first injured and going through that, I mean, my experience was a little different than yours. I wasn't, I didn't have all those complications, and I had such a great support around me with my family and my friends, and still being in New York, like where I grew up and lived. But I think it's a lot of it starts just kind of surrounding yourself with the right people and putting yourself out there and doing things like that. I know it's difficult for people to talk about that and depression and things that they've had going up. So I think it's important to make light of this, that this does happen. Obviously we go through these traumatic injuries, and we're all great now, and this is where it goes. But it's it's definitely tough. And I think for me, like, adaptive sports definitely changed that. I think these are things that I never thought I'd be able to do again. And I think you go back and you still think, like, okay, I'm alive, it's great, but like, now what, right? Like, what's next? Like, where do we go from here? I can put my pants on in the morning, I'm thinking how to go to the bathroom, but what my life is really going to be like. And I know it changes. I know, like, for me, after that spot, kind of being in that place, you kind of move on from there. And I think adaptive sports really helped me out. So as you're getting better and as you're doing things, like, what were some of the things that you learned and you felt that you kind of grabbed onto and gravitated towards that helped you pull you into the direction where your life is now?
Yeah, again, it's family. I think working too was one big thing. Is I had a goal to just get back working as fast as I possibly could. And putting that into it's I guess making adaptations to be able to work, I thought was really cool. And I just kind of looked at each one of these things as a challenge. Like, okay, how am I going to get to the bathroom? There's a couple stairs here. Can we build a ramp to do this? I kind of looked at all those as little wins, being able to adapt and do that stuff. Like I would have to do that at work too. But yeah, I mean, what really I think pulled me out into the right direction was skiing. Ultimately, in adaptive sports in general. I mean, that's an unbelievable positive energy. As soon as you go to any adaptive sports place, there's a different kind of energy there, and there's different kinds of people. They're only there to help.
Right.
I mean, they're the most positive people you can really be around, and that's so important.
No, I think it's good. Before we actually segue to that, I think you said it too with the little wins, right? I think little wins was what really helped for me too. And I think honestly, I think when that to work was super helpful for me as well. I was lucky enough to have a job where I knew I still had the same job I had after I got hurt, and I had a great boss and a great team there that let me do that. I remember I was working for a bank at the time, and just trying to put a suit on again and put a tie on again and feel like that's what I did. I remember actually even like putting going to like the tailor and getting a little extra space put on the back of my suit pants so it could fit over my power belly. My suit would fit better on me, and I could feel that part again. Those little wins, were huge. I know, like I say, we laugh about it for each their own, right, on the different little wins, but that was definitely big. And I think little wins is such a good way to say it and do that. And I think work is huge. And then for me, right after work was like having a goal and getting to sports. So I think how did adaptive sports kind of play in that role of you of like really transcending your life and putting you to where how you feel comfortable today and doing what you're doing?
Yeah, so I guess it took me 2 years really to get into adaptive sports, just because of complications afterwards. I had a couple other failed surgeries, and I had a pretty bad pressure wound leaving the hospital. That took like 9 months to heal. Ultimately, it was always in the cards for me to start skiing. My mom's friends have been in the adaptive program for a long time at Greek Peak. And it was very, very soon after that they were saying, okay, you can come down here, that I got into my accident. I'm like, all right, let's wait a little bit here. But I mean, it really was the minute that I hopped into that monoski, I knew, I'm like, oh, this definitely is going to work. This is going to be awesome. When I went there, they ended up fitting me. I took to it pretty quickly as far as like being able to self-load and all that. The first day I was able to kind of go up to the mountain, which is according to that program a little unheard of. That's not usually a progression that you make on the first day.
No, it's not.
But I remember just wanting to go constantly. I was wanted to do 1 million runs to the point where I got up to the top of the hill, and about halfway down, my arms just gave out. I would go to take a turn, and my arms would just literally drop, and I'd fall right over. I did that probably like 4 or 5 times, and then my coach Ryan came over and he's like, "Yeah, I think we're gonna go in now."
No, and I think it's so important to know. Like, were you like an athlete? Like, did you play sports? Did you ski before your injury or any of that? And I think that's what's super cool. I think people need to know that like even after your injury, like you don't have to be an athlete beforehand. You don't have to ski beforehand. These are just new experiences you can have after, and how empowering it is. And like, look for you, like that's something you never did before your injury, and all of a sudden you're out in the snow on your first day out there, and yeah, you're falling over and getting your butt kicked, but like you kind of kept getting back up again. It's it's a recurring theme of like how you kind of right, like you just put your brain to it and what you're able to do and move on from that, and how much that's now such an important factor of your life, and what Greek adaptive snow sports did for you is like it's incredible. Like look, I mean, like who you really are right now.
So after I'd fallen the million times, my Ryan had actually thumb tethered me to go down the rest of the way, and that's when we started actually going fast. And he was like throwing the bucket onto edge, and that was the first time I ever felt an edge. I'm like, wow, how are we accelerating in a corner? This doesn't make any sense. This kind of defined how I understood the physics of movement. I mean, it just kind of made no sense to me, but I got that feeling that I would get when I would race, or yeah, just race my motorcycle around or whatever. If sometimes you get this little feeling in the it's the adrenaline start going, and I felt that on the first corner that he took, and I've been chasing that since. So it's been 2 years now that I'm going at skiing, and it's still chasing that feeling.
Yeah, so now you have your ski, right? You love skiing, you do what you're doing, but how's being able to monoski, like, just kind of like, what's been the other effects of having the ski, right? Like, how has it been in your, like, your social life and other things you've done, opportunity, people you've met? Like, how has it just been, like, even past the sport of skiing? What has that done for you in your life?
Well, I now have, there's a great group of younger instructors at Greek Peak Adaptive. So there's like 9-10 of us that are all around the same age, that we're fantastic friends now. I mean, we go on trips together. We're constantly at each other's houses, this, that. But I mean, socially, it's helped me out tremendously. I've gained such great friends through all this. It's really amazing. And what also too is, you can't just take a program ski and go anywhere most of the time. They usually don't like you doing that for insurance reasons or what have you. But when you have your own equipment, you can go to any mountain you want. So that's why I was able to go to Breckenridge, was because I got that grant, because I was able to get my ski. And then from Breckenridge, I made a bunch of great connections. And I mean, that got me through to other camps all season long on the East Coast. So it's really cool to kind of network and talk to people within the community.
Yeah, I mean, listen, I mean, I got to meet you and become, you know, being like grant recipients and see how cool you are, and actually become like actually good friends. I love like talking to you and seeing how cool that is. And then now you're a KBF ambassador. You kind of give back now, and it's really cool to see you. You know, even when I pop around the SCI community, I see yourself putting yourself out there and introducing yourself to people, even on Facebook groups, and just seeing your passion, hunger, and like the yearn that you have to learning all this stuff and becoming such a better person. And doing you're doing makes me happy and passionate to know you, and it gets me excited just to like what you're doing, man. So thank you for doing what you're doing, and tell us what it feels like to do that now and be like that.
Well, it's truly it's a privilege that I'm able to, and I feel a responsibility. Like, this sport changed my life. If I hadn't gotten into this sport, I don't know where I'd be. I could be extremely depressed doing nothing. But I feel like I need to give that back to as many people as I possibly can. If that means going onto a Facebook group or something like that, introducing myself, saying this is what we're doing, and get one person, that's a win. I don't care. I'll spend hours out of my day doing that.
Walking red.
It's truly, it's life-changing stuff that you guys help out with. It's amazing. That's why I love being an ambassador for you guys. It's really, really cool.
No, man, well, your positivity, man, you're yearning just to be the best you can be is awesome. Love having you on, so, which is really cool. But before we even get going here, so tell me about some of the things you want to do in the future. I know you're an aspiring alpine ski racer now. Like, what's in store for you, Liam? What are your goals and aspirations in life here now?
Well, I basically want to take skiing and see exactly how far I can go with it. I know that I progressed very quickly. So I'd like to see if I can carry that momentum and just really dial in my skills, and go from an intermediate skier to a kind of a professional level skier. That's really what I would like to do. What that kind of means is whether I go to Park City or Winter Park to start skiing with one of their programs. That's probably what I'm going to have to do in the wintertime.
Sounds terrible.
Out there, and yeah, I know that would really suck. But it's truly, I constantly am looking for a way to gain employment in something that I love. And that's really what I would like to have in my future, whether it be in adaptive sports in some way, shape, or form. That's really what I'm doing. I feel like skiing can take me to where I want to be.
So I can personally tell you that it's awesome to be able to find the passion you love and find a job doing that, because I love what I'm doing now.
Yeah, prime example.
And it's great. So yeah, I strongly urge you to follow that plan, because it's really awesome to be part of that. And Liam, man, it's awesome just being a part of your life and helping you guys out and doing what you're doing. And just I think this is kind of funny too in and of itself. At least I think it's funny. Hopefully it's not me or anybody else. But you do kind of a unique injury. So when,
Yeah.
when we first met, actually, you were just sitting there, and all of a sudden you just boom crossed your legs, and I was like, "What the heck is happening? How did you do that?
Just him faking
This is
it.
pure magic. Teach me."
Oh, it's too
But
funny.
then I found out
I
you
actually
couldn't teach me, so.
the first day I went skiing, afterwards we had a great day, and then we went back up to the bar, and when I have my braces on, I can prop myself up and stand up at the bar. And coach is like, "Did I just teach someone who can walk how to monoski all day? What is this?" Is he faking
Oh,
it?
that's priceless. So tell people a little about your injury and kind of what it's like, because you are like a bit unique in the, I guess, in the
Yeah,
SCI world.
it's so it's an incomplete injury. So some of the nerves are affected, some of them aren't. It's basically knee down. Everything is gone. So I have like no ankle movement, but I have very weak hamstrings, very weak glutes. Quads are pretty decently strong, but it kind of allows me to move around and get done what I need to get done.
Well, Liam, that's awesome, man. We're so pumped to follow you in the future and see what you're doing. And thanks for joining me on here. And thanks for getting deep with us, man. I know it's really hard to open up and be here and to the public and be
No,
totally honest
absolutely.
with your feelings of where you worked. I know what a deep thing you're in there and how much you've gone through. So, Liam, man, thanks for being such a positive influence in the world and keep doing what you're doing, man.
Thank you, buddy.
Anytime. Good luck being a chemist over there.
See ya.
Talk to you soon, bud. Later.
Bye.
All right. Awesome, guys. Well, thanks for joining me for the 6th episode. I hope you guys learned a lot there from Liam. And again, I can't just emphasize enough like how amazing Liam is for coming on here and really digging deep and telling his story and going his deepest, darkest thoughts and where he was. And that's really hard to do. And I know we've all gone through, different situations, and we all have these crazy stories and how we got hurt and how we got past there. And I know there's this light at the end of the tunnel for all of us, and it's really cool. And we're happy to be here. And we really think that sport is a great way to get past that once you guys really need it. So we're always here as a resource. I'm sure Liam would be happy to help with any questions too from that end of it. So thanks again, guys. Thanks for joining me here. I hope the weather is good by you guys. It's pretty awesome here in Burlington. So I'm excited to go out for a little bike ride later, do some things, and keep kind of crushing this weird world. And I know we have our first holiday post-COVID this Monday, so I have no idea how that's going to go, what it's going to be like, but we'll kind of go from there, and we'll keep living life the best we can, guys. So again, thanks for joining Durso Dispatch, and I can't wait to see you guys next week. Have a good one.